all waiting. So,
Okay.
you know, when I was sitting at the airport today, and all these flights have been just crazy, and I told Logan, you know, maybe we should just cancel. I said I'll get here as quick as I can. So, but yeah, we have it's that leadership call the student ministry does.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, let me
let's just fire away. We'll go as far as we can.
lay down the groundwork,
Sure.
Louis, and we'll take off. We normally allow everybody to do opening up to 5 minutes.
Okay.
Why don't we shorten it to about 3?
Yeah, we'll keep it short. Yeah.
And
Do you
normally
want
we
to
do.
shut that, or you good?
Uh,
Okay.
Just us.
Yeah, it's just us and
Okay.
there's one of the guy next
Okay.
door who owns the building. So. Then we typically go 45 minutes.
All right.
And, you know, we'll go around the table, ask questions, give you up to 2 minutes to
Okay.
reply. If you don't use the whole 2 minutes, Pat's got a timer there, then anybody else can jump in and further that question. And then we wrap it up with 2 minutes.
Okay.
And real quick,
So
while
what we're gonna do.
Yeah, while you're taking.
Yeah, what we're gonna do, and we're actually, we just finished our our local races last night.
Okay.
At our open meeting, and Ken has developed a Wikipedia site that has all the races from U.S. Senator
Okay.
down to the JP level and everything in between. With that, you can drill down to the races and you can drill down to the candidates.
Okay.
And what we're gonna do is we have the videos of your interview, or
Right.
we will for all the candidates. Once all the candidates are done, and then your questionnaire, we'll take this also and publish it on our site
Okay.
when everybody's done.
Okay.
And we put it up at the same time, and so on, you know, one column we have all the questions, and then we have a comparison going across for each candidate,
Okay.
okay? Columnar
Okay.
per each row.
Okay.
And so what we're trying to do is give as much information as we can on every candidate.
Sure,
from
sounds
that
good.
perspective.
Have the other lieutenant governors been in? About first, second, third? They've all been?
Yeah,
Okay.
Dewhurst
Okay.
and
let's see.
Staples.
Okay, yeah, okay. Well, let's fire away so we can, now, do you all have more to do if we take a break, or are you all gonna wrap? Because I don't wanna keep you all waiting to, you know, I just may be the short guy, but I can't control the
Your
one.
call is what, 5 or 10 minutes?
Pardon?
Your phone call, 5 or 10 minutes?
No, it's longer than,
Oh,
it's
is
like
it?
20, yeah, it's like 20 minutes, so I don't wanna keep you guys waiting, but,
Yeah, we could probably.
Okay.
Probably worth
We
it.
can come back.
yeah, I will, I'll be happy to.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, so
Appreciate your patience.
go ahead and do your, are we set for the camera video? Let's go.
It's all you bottle correct.
All right, let me get it here first here.
You're fine. Everybody's fine.
We ready to go? You tell me when.
We're rolling, right? Yeah.
Okay.
First of all, thank you for having me. Most of us all know each other, one way or the other. Dan Patrick, Senator since 2007, running for Lieutenant Governor. And the reasons I'm running, as a Senator, you can do so much. And I've accomplished a lot with the team of senators in the last 4 sessions, 16,000 votes. I've only missed about 6. I show up for work 640 or 50 days, however many days it's been. I've only missed 1. There were no votes taken that day, I don't think. That was to go on the Piers Morgan show and debate the Second Amendment. So literally have not missed a day except that appearance in 4 years, and have only missed a handful of votes. You know, this past session served on transportation, criminal justice, higher education, chair of education, finance, sunset, redistricting. And I've been one of the busiest senators and hardest working since I've been there. In fact, the Lieutenant Governor, which I appreciate, gave me a pretty big assignment because he knows I work hard. And it takes a lot of work to do a good job as a senator. But at some point, you get to a level where there are things that have not been accomplished that you want to accomplish for the conservative agenda that I believe is shared with lots of folks. And you have to take that next step if you want to complete the job. If you believe the person who is there is not going to do it. And I appreciate the Lieutenant Governor's public service. He's done a lot of good things. We've worked together on some things. This is not about him. But I do believe it's time for new leadership to complete the conservative agenda. 1, secure the border and sanctuary cities and in-state tuition. Lower property taxes. Pass the campus carry. Get our transportation debt down on a pay-as-you-go basis. There are many things we have to accomplish, and one of the biggest things that we need to accomplish is pass school choice because education is the key to the future of Texas. And so these things, in my belief, have not been done in 12 years, and so they're not going to get done in 4 more. If you can't get them done in 12, when you have the majority, and no excuses really to pass any bill, then it's time to make a change. The second thing is just about leadership, is again, people want to know, why are you running? Well, again, I show up. You know, the lieutenant governor missed probably about 30% of the time on Senate floor this year. And of course, we had the meltdown with the filibuster. And it wouldn't have happened under my watch, I can assure you. I wouldn't have missed 30% of the time off the Senate floor. I'm not saying you have to be there 100% of the time, because there are other things you have to do, but there was just, I had a sense that we needed someone who really wants to be there. And I think that sense is shared by a number of people. So again, I appreciate the job he's done. There's only so much all of us have in our leadership tank in life. And so I'm running for that reason. And I would suppose the other 2 people are running for the same reason. I'm not running against anyone. I'm running for what I believe in and for what I believe we have to do. And the biggest change that would come under me as Lieutenant Governor, and I've said this from day one, and none of the other candidates have ever really made a statement on this, I will not appoint half the Democrats as chairman of committees. 6 Democrats chair committees right now. And as chairman of education, I can tell you, you're all powerful as chairman of the committee. Nothing comes out of that committee unless you want it to come out. And if a bill does come out, you know, you can change it, you can modify it, or otherwise it doesn't move, or you can have a hearing and not vote it out. When we turn over 6 committees to Democrat chairman, we are yielding power. We work too hard to elect conservatives. So we have great conservatives who could be chairman of committees sitting on the bench while Democrats chair. That will not happen. Will there be 1 or 2? Could be, but not half. The other thing, the 21 vote rule, which I campaigned on 2006, must end. It's not unilateral. The lieutenant governor can't do it. It's a vote of the senators. But as long as we require 21 votes to bring any bill to the floor, and we don't have 21 Republicans, then your bills get blocked or they get watered down. So I will do all I can to persuade our members. When I started out, I was the only vote to change it. Now we're up to about 10. We'll get up to 16. We need 16 votes to change it. So that's a lot of the reasons I'm running, to complete the conservative agenda, show up for work, get the job done that people want done, and lower property taxes, which is another thing hopefully we'll talk about today.
Okay, great. We're gonna go around this way.
Sure.
Larry, if you wanna kick it off.
I'm sure there's a lot of people, myself included, until I got involved in all this, that don't know really what is the job of the lieutenant governor.
You know, you can answer that in several ways, depending how you want to look at it. First of all, if I can, I'm going to define that as, what's the job of a conservative Republican lieutenant governor? Because the job of a Republican conservative lieutenant governor is different than the job of a liberal Democrat lieutenant governor. For example, Letitia Vanderpute, who's the Democrat candidate, if she were to win, and she's not, but if she were to win, her job would be different than mine, how I would approach it. You want to work in a bipartisan way. You want to work to get things done. And as education chair this year, we passed sweeping education reforms on a bipartisan basis. So you know how to work with people. But at the end of the day, the reason the lieutenant governor is the most powerful position in Texas is, number one, the governor, depending on the personality, can be or not be powerful, but the governor has the veto pen. That's pretty much it. The lieutenant governor, like the speaker, appoints the committee chairman, appoints every member of the committee, decides which bills really get out and which ones don't. But the difference between the speaker and the lieutenant governor, the speaker is elected by other members. So he really doesn't have a mandate of the people, but a mandate of the members. The lieutenant governor is the one statewide elected official that has a mandate of the people when they get elected. So if I win this race, and I believe we will win this race, if I win this race, it's going to be a mandate of lowering people's property taxes, of securing the border, of ending sanctuary cities, of ending in-state tuition, of passing campus carry, of passing school choice. And I'm going to sit down with the senators and say, look, I just ran for the last 7-8 months, actually a year and a half by the time it's over, across the state and talked to people, and they elected me to represent them. And so my job is to keep my word and complete the job that I campaigned on. So the real answer there to me is, first and foremost, you get the job done that you told people you would do. The second thing is to, in a respectful way, be a leader so that everyone's voice is heard, so there isn't chaos, and so you bring everyone into the fold to the best you can, and make it a body that moves efficiently, on time, runs like a well-oiled business, and it hasn't been.
Okay. Ken?
All right. In your questionnaire, you're talking about open carry,
Yes.
concealed carry,
Yeah.
no restrictions. What do you mean by no restrictions? Because a lot of different people say no restrictions mean a lot of different things.
Okay, I'm not sure, read that back to me if you would, because
I don't know which one it was.
I don't know that I said that specifically, but I may have. I just want to be sure I'm,
I oppose any restrictions on the right to carry and have passed or helped pass 7 bills to expand.
oh,
the
okay,
right to carry.
yeah. But my point was that today, there aren't the, so you're talking about open carry?
Both, actually.
Okay.
What do you mean by no restrictions? I mean, would that mean no training? No.
Let me just take a second. I want to look at how that's written to be sure.
Sure.
Maybe let me just look at that, because
Middle one right there.
okay, the middle one. Yeah, okay. Okay, I think, I said, I oppose any restrictions on the right to carry. I think what I'm talking about, not that you wouldn't have to have training and different things, what I'm suggesting is our Constitution, I believe, guarantees us a right to bear arms. And so I would oppose any restrictions on any legislation that would take away that right. So
Okay.
maybe it wasn't exactly clear. A lot of questions, I did the best I could to answer as
Sure.
precisely as I can. So on open carry, people have asked me. Right now, there haven't been the votes for it, quite frankly, in the House or the Senate. Personally, as a concealed carry supporter, I wouldn't open carry. That's just my personal preference. But if a bill is brought and there are the votes to pass it, I will move it out of the floor if that's the will of the people and the will of the Senate. So I support it if there are the votes. It's just not something I personally would do.
Sure.
And then on conceal, we need to pass campus carry, and we will. It'll be one of the first bills we pass. Let me tell you where the rubber really meets the road when you want to know where someone really stands. The 21 vote rule that I mentioned is only enacted during session. So you have to have 21 votes to bring a bill to the floor during session. But during the special session, there is no 21 vote rule. You only need 16 votes like you need during the regular session to pass a bill. But again, regular session, 21 to get it to the floor, to only have 16. It's a little confusing. In the special session, you only need 16. So why didn't campus carry pass when we only needed 16 and the Democrats couldn't stop it? I can go down, why didn't school choice pass when we had a chance to do it? That's where the lieutenant governor steps up. And let me tell you what, as lieutenant governor, in a special session with no 21 vote rule, every agenda item that the conservatives want to pass is going to pass. Now, the governor's the one who puts it on the call, so you can't blame it on the lieutenant governor, but the lieutenant governor fought for getting the pro-life bill on the special session. There was no fight to get a bill on the floor to pass campus carry. And so I want to be very clear. The rubber meets the road because there are no excuses in a special session. How might one my other time so I can get to my call?
It is.
It's
6:25.
6:26.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
6:26.
Okay, let's do one more and we'll take.
So you mentioned lowering taxes.
Yes.
Well, you want to hold that if you got about 3 minutes.
Okay, I can give you a short answer or another question and come back to that because that's a long
A
answer.
long question.
Yeah,
Um,
and I want to really get into it because it's important.
Okay, so then after we had the hurricane that took out, we didn't have water and power
Right.
for a week or two.
Right.
You had pushed through a bill to
Required
require backup generators
Yes.
on, was it southeast Texas or was it
Well,
all of Texas?
It started out to be southeast and along the coastal areas where it's more likely to have that issue.
Right.
And I had a number of senators who came up who said, Dan, I think it's a good idea, but my local communities don't want to do it. So you take them out, you carve them out. We needed to do it in Harris County because in Harris County, we were very close to not having water in this community because we didn't have generators at the Trinity River backup. And when we lost the Trinity River backup, once you lose that, as I understand, I wasn't in the middle of it at the time, but I understand Bill White had to get permission to bring in extra lines from the federal government so we could get that system running. You can do without electric for a while. You can do, air conditioning is not, when you lose it, it's not pleasant. And you can do without your cable TV. But when you don't have water, you're in great danger. And so that's the reason we passed that bill.
So it was just a Harris County, or was
It turned out just to be a Harris County bill. Anybody, I mean, it could have been, other counties wanted to do it.
How about
Yeah.
just having the local communities decide whether they want to have that backup or not? And if they suffer the consequences of being without water in the next storm in the next 30 years from now, then so be it. But why make a state mandate to?
Well, it wasn't a
to tell
statement, it wasn't a statement, it started out being a regional, and it turned out to be in Harris County, and in Harris County, the various mud boards, almost, I don't want to speak for every one of them, I think I have several hundred in my district, I know I do, they were supportive. The commissioners and the county judge were supportive.
But it's still a state mandate. The state of Texas
well,
was state legislation.
It's not that it's a state mandate, some things can only be done if the state passes legislation to do it.
So how was that related to Livingston? I thought you said the pipes coming from Livingston.
Well, they were getting.
No, that was a separate issue. In other words,
Okay.
because the city of Houston depends on Trinity, when that went down, when the power, Bill White had taken the generators away.
Well, you should have given it to Livingston.
Yeah, well, that's his issue. You know, our legislation was focused on Harris County, because that's what we saw as water needs, and that's what the people wanted. So, some things you just have to do at the state level. It's not, and you get buy-in, and we had buy-in from virtually everyone who.
I know of some that opposed that.
Well, there's never 100% perfect world, but I think the people of Harris County wanted to know that if we have a serious disaster, that there is a backup. And you need to have a backup for water, because we are subject to major storms on the coast. And it's worked fine, pretty much everyone got their generators in. And in the future, I'm proud actually that we passed that bill. And if other counties didn't want to do it, I'm proud that Harris County citizens and Senate District 7 citizens will be protected in a crisis, that they won't have to worry about water.
Well, so it's still going to be protected, but I'm concerned about doing it at the state level. That's the part I'm concerned about.
Well, it's
because
just-
the local governments, they can do what they need to do to protect
Yeah.
themselves. They really can. There's
Well-
no restriction there.
Well, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And in this case, with so many independent water boards, someone had to kind of come along and say, here's a plan, we need a plan. And I brought them all together, brought them together as a group. Again, not everyone's going to agree on anything, but the vast majority said, Dan, we need to do this.
And who picked up the tab? Individuals?
Yeah, in some cases, there wasn't any picking up the tab, because there was money within the system to pay for the generators. In some cases, I can't tell you exactly over hundreds of districts how each one handled it.
State money?
But, no, it wasn't state money, it was local, so it was local mud
it's
district.
just mandate to put it in.
Yeah, to
We
put it
already
in.
paid for it.
Yeah, and it really wasn't, again, there hasn't been any muss or fuss. Again, I can't, there may be 300 some districts, if there were 10 who didn't want to do it, I can tell you the vast majority thought it was a good idea.
Okay.
We'll break there.
Yeah, and I'll take you to the room.
Okay, thanks.